Hi, my name is Phillip Zamora, hearing instrument specialist. I am the clinician and owner at Trusted Hearing Center here in Georgetown, Texas. So today we're going to be talking about a big elephant in the room when it comes to hearing aids. And a lot of people search for this information online and can usually never find a really straight answer. And so I think most people will know what that elephant is, and that is what is the average cost of hearing aids. It's something that should be very straightforward and upfront and has not been in the industry. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about the hearing aid cost, service, and some other things that are related to the cost of hearing aids. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in and give you the answer up front because I think it's something that needs to be answered. Typically, the average cost of a pair of hearing aids is going to run anywhere between $900 to $7,000 for a pair. I'm not saying that's the average cost here, but that's the average cost of the places that we'll talk about. Obviously, and I'll get to this here in a couple of minutes, you should never pay $7,000 for a pair of hearing aids. Not even close. Okay. If someone is quoting you $7,000 for a pair of hearing aids, please run away. And it really does depend on where you are looking for your hearing aids. I will tell you there are only so many hearing aid manufacturers out there, both A and B brands. And so there are people that private label those major brands and then upsell those hearing aids. And those are the people you kind of want to stay away from, even run away from. Some of the choices for hearing aid purchasing are going to be chains, of course. Those are typically your biggest culprits for people that take a hearing aid from a specific manufacturer and private label them, put their name on it, and then lock the software. So no one but them can take it and make adjustments to those hearing aids. You kind of want to stay away from those. Really the biggest benefit of that is usually they have a big network around the country. However, if you were to purchase just the hearing aid without private labeled, a lot of independent clinics can still reprogram the hearing aids. So it's really not a huge advantage for going with the chain. Another one is going to be online. So sometimes you'll find some hearing aids online and they offer some remote adjustments. They'll usually be a little bit cheaper than your private clinic sometimes. The disadvantage to that, I see it a lot with my patients as well. People want to have somewhere to come into, usually, for same day service, especially if the problem is only something that needs cleaning or a quick adjustment here in the office. With online retailers, you're not going to have that ability to make a quick adjustment. Usually involves sending that hearing aid in through the mail, or having to go to another provider like me to get service for the hearing aids. And of course, there's big box stores. I won't name them. Typically, those are going to be a little bit cheaper because they do buy in bulk. I'm not saying their hearing aids are going to be, some of them also private labeled as well. And so you want to look at exactly what they're doing with their private label hearing aids. Can you only go to them for adjustments if you move or if you're too far away from the store? And then there's a clinic like mine, which is a private clinic. We happen to be private and independent, which I think is a very important distinction. Because we're independent, we're able to offer the variety of major hearing aid brands, and actually all of them, so that number one, we're not pushing just one brand. And number two, if you want to try one brand and then try a totally different one, you don't have to go to another place. You can stay here and try those brands here. One major factor that's going to factor into the price of the hearing aid is going to be the technology inside of it. So for a hearing aid that's $900 compared to a hearing aid that's $7,000, usually it's going to depend on what brand it is. But the major factor is going to be the technology inside of the hearing aid. These hearing aids today are basically little computers. And so they can input the different capabilities of the hearing aid into the chip that's in the hearing aid. Even though it might look the same, it's not going to perform the same. What I like to think of it as buckets. How many buckets will the hearing aid have to put your situations in? The more buckets it has, the more it can change the situations depending on what you walk into. That's what you're going to pay for when you pay a little bit more for a hearing aid, is you're going to pay for the technology inside of the hearing aid, not necessarily for the style itself. And by the way, if someone is charging you more for custom hearing aid rather than something that fits behind your ear, I want you to run away from there too, because there's really no cost difference for us when it comes to custom and BTE or RIC hearing aids. You also want to look at what's included in your purchase. It's very typical for a clinic or a chain or even a big box store to include service or aftercare with the purchase of the hearing aids, and they should. If they're charging something like $6,000 or $7,000, you should absolutely get aftercare as long as you have that hearing aid, which includes cleanings for the hearing aids, adjustments, annual tests. You should be taken care of if you're paying that much. Even if you're not, you should really be paying. You should really have that aftercare when you purchase that hearing aid to be taken care of. Here, it doesn't matter how much the hearing aid is that you purchase. You always receive unlimited aftercare for as long as you have that hearing aid, and it's just right. And it's like I said earlier, you should never pay more than $5,000 for a pair of hearing aids. It doesn't matter the brand. It doesn't matter the type of hearing aid. Just don't do it. Give me a call. I don't care if you're in another part of the country. I'll help you verify and find a good pair of hearing aids that include service, that are unlocked for a better price than that. Here at Trusted Hearing Center, we're very transparent with our pricing. So you can actually go onto our website and see our hearing aid prices for different levels of technology and what brands we offer in that price range. If you call into a clinic and they're very sketchy about telling you their pricing, call somewhere else. You want to get upfront pricing so that you don't waste time and get into the clinic and end up getting quoted $7,000 for a pair of hearing aids. It's just not right. So give the clinic a call and ask them what their price range is. You can even ask them what brands they offer. Like I said, there are a lot of chains that will offer a certain brand that really isn't a brand, it's a private label. That information can be found online as well. If they have their prices online, even better. And so you want to get all of those details. You don't want to get stuck with a certain go into a clinic that only offers one brand, or even just one or two brands. You want to have that flexibility, and you want to make sure that that provider doesn't have a commitment to push a certain brand as well. It's just not good for the consumer, for you. You want someone that's going to work with you and recommend something based on your hearing loss, based on your price range, something you're comfortable with, not just something that they have to push. Typically around $900 to $7,000. Our average price range here at Trusted Hearing Center, our prices start at $9.95 for the pair, and that's not a sale item. That's all the time, and they go up to $4,800 for the pair. Typically, when people come in for a good medium level technology that's good for a lot of good situations, rechargeable Bluetooth features as well. Typically, someone will pay around $1,500 for a pair to $2,800 for a pair here. That's our average, but it really, really just depends on the place that you go and the type of hearing aid and technology level that you're going to get. Like I said, please find someone that's going to be a very good provider and that's going to be very upfront with their costs, because it is very important for you to know that going in. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, like I said, you don't have to live near me. Give me a call, 512-357-8000. For those of you that are local, we're located here in Georgetown near Sun City in Texas. Go ahead and stop in. You can ask me any questions about any brands, any pricing. We're here to really help the consumer out. So just give me a call if you have any questions. Thank you so much.